I am Chris Heisman. I am the Senior Concept and Design Manager for Tomy. I'm the lead design creative on this. We set our goal at 2,000 pieces throughout basically the entire campaign. We hit that goal within 5 hours of the first day. So we are very happy about that. Yeah, there's a lot of work that has to be done. I have a crew of, call ourselves the Goon Squad. I call them the Goon Squad. Well-known players in the Star Trek lore. We got Gary Kerr and Carl Tate, Glenn Swanson, Matt Cushman, Mark Myers. There's a bunch of guys that know they know what's right, and they have more knowledge in their little pinkies than I have my entire life. I've always been a replica guy. Like when I first started my career of this kind of stuff, my first job was replica, doing die-cast replicas, and I've always loved it. I have an eye for detail. I like to try to figure out how to make the impossible possible. Obviously, we're Tomy, but under our Erdl division, we've been doing high-end die-cast for decades. Erdl itself will celebrate its 80th anniversary next year. Tomy just celebrated its 100-year anniversary this year. And so we know diecast and we know how to do it right. We realized that crowdfunding is a big deal, and it's another way to get the impossible to happen, because a lot of times, this costs a lot of money to develop, and it costs a lot of money to make the molds, the deco, all kinds of stuff. To have it paid for up front is a lot better than guesswork of how many pieces that you should produce, right? So now we know exactly what to produce. We have, once the campaign's over, we have all the funds, then it's just a matter of doing it and everybody's happy. It depends. So on diecast itself, like fine details is very hard to do with diecast. It's much easier to do with plastic, obviously. The stuff that we know that we don't need necessarily do the fine detail on, we just make it out of diecast, and the stuff that needs it, we do it out of plastic. So if you look on this prototype that we have now, if you look at, for example, this is an example. If you look at the officer's lounge and you see the windows, those pillars, the window dividers, are too thick. So we're trying to figure out a way to make them thinner. We have a couple of ideas. A lot of it will involve plastic. It might just be different paint operations. It could be whatever. We did the same thing on the first TOS release that we had. On the planetary sensor array, the battery cover, originally we were going to have the lines that were in the dome be engraved, but it didn't look right, and so we basically got rid of that idea and painted them on. Now it looks perfect because it's very fine detail. There's so many different tricks that we're doing stuff on all of these, and we're still perfecting this. Honestly, the number one thing is the iridescent paint. Up until now, the only way to get this to happen was either you build the kit yourself and painstakingly go through the process of cutting out the stencils and doing whatever, or you pay somebody else to do it. And it's usually it's a lot of time or a couple $1,000s, so whatever it could possibly be. So what we want to do, my goal is to make it affordable more or less for everybody. I think a lot of it's the lighting effects. That's what I'm seeing from a lot of people that are admiring it. All the lighting effects is more or less interactive, so you can control more about like how you want it to be displayed and that kind of thing. So we learned a lot from the first one. We learned a lot from our second offering, which was the 10 scale time machine from Back to the Future. We're figuring out better ways to hide the screws. And a lot of them are in plain sight. You just don't know that they're there. Now, you're probably going to have some that you still know that they're there, but they're not going to be so glaringly obvious as a round plug or something like that. We're working to get into the structure of the aesthetics of the piece. So if it's on the bottom of something, it'll be part of the grid work. If it's something, and I can point out a lot where we're hiding a lot of these screws. You'll never know that they're there. You'll never know. So my goal is to not have the saucer supports happen. We might have to include them like we did with the TOS due to just in case. But my number one goal is to get rid of those. We'll probably redesign the base a little bit. It's going to be die-cast metal, 20 pounds. And by design, it's nose heavy anyway. And the balance point is actually very far forward. And to get that to happen, like I said, we have some ideas how we might do that. My goal is to have either no supports or maybe like one very subtle support somewhere. But honestly, even the design that we have here, the comments that I'm getting are a lot of people like it. So it's, I would say, if I had to say, it's probably like a, because I always ask the question, like, how do you like the bass? Or people ask, is that the final bass? And I would say it's probably like a 50-50 split. Some people love it, some people don't. You can't please everybody, so you kind of have to go with what is going to work and what the majority of the people are okay with. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to have any guesswork, right? I don't want to guess what everybody wants. So when this campaign is over, at some point throughout the next process, through the months going, we will, after the campaign's over, we will give like monthly updates to like where we are with things. And if we're encountering an issue, that we'll let you know that we're working on it, or we'll tell you how we've solved an issue that everybody was worried about, and we'll show, for example, like the nacelles, right? So the nacelle, the blue lights in the cells, Yeah, we don't want the four lights. We want to have, we want that to be diffused and just perfect, right? And so we know that we can fix it. We're going to fix that, and we'll show everybody how it's going. Somewhere along the line, we'll probably send out a poll, a list of like 6 ships that we know people love, but we don't know which one you really love. So I can tell you now, we get a lot of requests for like Klingon D7, the Reliant, the D, the Katinga. You know what I mean? So it's like a Klingon bird of prey, like the HMS Bounty, something like that, right? Ideally, it'd be great to keep everything kind of to scale, the 350 scale, if possible. But if we do like the Enterprise D, that would be like 7 feet long, and nobody wants that. So we would probably, if that were the case, we would probably make it. It's wider than it is long, so we would probably make it, let's just say, 30 inches wide or something like that, with incredible detail. And with everything that we do, part of the hook, we call it Tomy Magic, but we try to add something that nobody's done before or you wouldn't expect it to happen. Like on the first one, you had the saucer separation. Part of it was more or less an homage to the replica at the Smithsonian. When we did the DeLorean, the time machine, we added this, there's a fog feature that happens, like a steam exhaust feature that happens, that, again, we advertise it as that, but that's basically the hook that we have going on here. For this one, the hook was the iridescent paint, and also the interactive bass. Just like I said, just a little something more than your typical replica would be. I don't know what we would do for the D. I really don't. That would probably have like saucer separation. If it were like, like a Klingon D7, we'd have to figure out maybe something. Whatever it could be. There's ways to get around that. So I know exactly what you're asking. So what we would do for the stuff that needs the finer detail, that would probably be done out of plastic, because plastic is more forgiving when it comes to details like that. We've all seen plastic kits. Die-cast does have its limitations when it comes to details, but it has its strength and it has the durability and the perceived value. Or it might be part of like a combo. Like you might get 2 ships, or you might get some accessories. I'm just spitballing here, but like say you have the HMS Bounty. Remember when it's above the ocean, it's basically parked above that ship. Maybe it'd be part of a small diorama. Yeah. Where you have that cool, really good. Yeah. I don't know. That would be a piece of cake. Yeah. Anything. So, there's lots of different options that, avenues that we can go on that. And we have talked about it. So me and 5 guys I talked to the most on this is Gary Kerr, Carl Tate, Glenn Swanson, Matt Cushman, Mark Myers. These guys are relatively legendary, especially Gary Kerr. The level and the amount of reference material they have, and the eye for detail that they have and perfectionism that they have. Carl and I have reviewed this several times. This model is like maybe 80% accurate. I'm making him give me a laundry list of everything that's wrong with it, because I want to address every single thing and make it right. And if I can't make it right, we'll figure out a way to make it look good. Yeah, roughly. It kind of depends on what it is. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of, that's my wish, and I know that's the wish of many people that I work with and I deal with. They would love to see this be a 10-year program, 20-year program, whatever it could possibly be. And whether we come out with one every year, or one, like a big one every year, or one every other year, to give everybody's wallets a break, we're talking about that. And I've been actually interacting with a lot of people that are interested in it. Would you like to see a big one every year? Same price point, so that way you know how much money to save. And our goal is to keep everything relatively affordable, right? I mean, this is a steal. The first one was a bigger steal. I'm very excited for the future. I think it's gonna be great.
So if you go for yearly, just to build them, you have to have 3 or 4 impressions at the same time. You have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what you have to do.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a full plate right now, and it's gonna be fun. I mean, I love a challenge. I love the whole making the impossible possible. Oh, for sure. This one here, I mean, obviously the TOS got off to a, I don't want to say rocky start.
You and
We accomplished what we wanted to, but obviously there were lessons to be learned there. So we knew that we had something good going on. When we did the DeLorean, the time machine, that went over really well. Then we kind of really knew we had something good going on. Then we started thinking about how do we branch out from that. And so then, based on the response and the quick goal sets here, I mean, the whole division, like whatever, everybody's buzzing about like, what can we do? What can we do? Because if everybody's asking for it,
Yeah.
we should give it to them, right? And I'd rather do it that way than almost any other way, if you think about it. Yeah, we have other things cooking right now. Don't get me wrong, other licenses plus not only this. So we have a lot of stuff going on. Oh, I won't say no, but again, like I said, that could be part of like other polls. You know, we could a lot of people that are collecting what we've done so far, they love all sci-fi. Not all of them, but they love whatever. So we might do another poll like, you know, based upon these licenses,
Yeah.
what would you like to see? Something like that. And again, it's going to go by majority rules. That's the big question.
Yeah.
Whether we do a $600 or $700 release every year,
Yeah.
or if we do, say, just thinking outside the box just a little bit, what if we did a 1/350 scale like Botany Bay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To complement the TOS, or could it be something else but at a smaller price point?
Oh, that's very small.
I don't think we would go much smaller than that. I think in order for it to work out, the business, well, it's stuff to explore. But right now, I think we're focused on doing high end,
Yeah.
probably $300 to $800.
Yeah.
That's the range that we probably want to do. I don't want to go over 900. You know, I don't want to go over because that starts. I feel it starts to go.
Sweet spot.
It's intimidating for a lot of people, and it's a lot of money for a lot of people. I'm sure I'll do greater things, but right now this one, it seems to be the best. I want to say my magnum opus. It's like it's going to be so super cool when it's done.